Let me tell you something. Ever since I was done with the episode of Secret Level, the one dedicated to Warhammer 40k, I started craving more and more and more Warhammer 40k content. So much so that I went on Amazon and I've bought these books, right? So far I am like at chapter 3 of the first book and I'm really enjoying it, and definitely looking forward to buy the other 3 and read them all, other books as well. To make a long story short, right, I watched the episode and I was really blown away. After a while I learned that there is like some sort of media to watch related about Warhammer 40k. And I come across the episode, and right after I was done with the episode, I started having a lot of questions. One of which is what the process looks like in order to become a Warhammer 40k Space Marine, right? And I've seen all these, I don't know how to call them or how basically to describe them. They are like, you know, they have these holes around their bodies where they get like plug these tubes when they lay on beds, and I assume they have like to pump some substances in order to alter their structural bodies. You know, you have like these men that are like, I don't know, 7 foot tall, 7 feet tall, 8 feet, 7 feet tall. And also they are very muscular, and also you have to be robust because they have to carry the external armor. And you know, one of the question, as I said, is what the process looks like. Is there any specific I don't know, feature that these young boys need to have in order to ascend to become a Space Marine? So here we are with today's video, where we are going to react to how to become a Space Marine made by Lord Tours. And yeah, I hope that this video is going to answer this question as well as many others. So sit down and let's begin, shall we?
Imagine yourself charging headfirst into swarms of foul tyrannid scum, every second a battle for survival, or making a desperate last stand against a horde of putrid chaos worshippers, knowing that if you fall, the Imperium might just fall with you. You're humanity's last greatest line of defense, and in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where there is only war, this isn't.
To be honest, I have to come clean and come forward with it. I don't think I will be able to go through whatever the process is going to be, because judging from the threats that they have to face once they become a Space Marine, I mean, they have to endure even worse things.
A task for the faint of heart. It's not enough to be strong, it's not enough to be willing. You've got to be fearless, resilient, ruthless. It takes a special kind of warrior to join the Emperor's Angels of Death. Welcome to the brutal and unrelenting world of the Adeptus Astartes. You think you've got what it takes to join the ranks of these battle-hardened brothers in arms?
Nope, I don't.
Then welcome to Lortor's Excursions, where we bring the most unique and sometimes horrifying experiences from across the multiverse right to you. And today, courtesy of the Lortor's Entertainment Division, we're taking a deep dive into the brutal recruitment, savage training, and genetic augmentation you'll need to endure to join the ranks of the Space Marines. Your journey to becoming a Space Marine starts with, well...
You see, another aspect that I really like about Warhammer 40k are the spaceships that look like flying churches with this gothic, I don't know if it's gothic, but I think it's gothic design. And then you have like cannons and whatever other kind of weapons or weaponry attached to them, and they're like just flying through space. Definitely interesting.
Where you were born. The Imperium stretches across countless worlds.
Oh, so this is like the universe of Warhammer 40k, okay.
Each one as harsh and unforgiving as the next.
Obviously, like the environment where you were born definitely plays a factor in how easier or tougher is to become a space marine. So it definitely makes sense. Yeah, he's right.
But to join the ranks of the Adeptus Astartes, you'll either need to be born on a planet that serves as a Space Marine chapter's recruiting ground, or come from a world frequently visited by a chapter with...
See, this is what I was referring to. Yeah, you have this combination of like not medieval, like Victorian Londonish, cyberpunkish, steampunkish design combined all together, and you're flying through space with these gigantic cannons and blasters. So yeah.
no permanent home, those chapters who travel the stars in giant mobile fortress monasteries. No matter the chapter, the
Fortress monasteries. Interesting terminology.
world you're from will be brutal. Whether it's the slums of a hive world or the wilds of a feral world, life is a constant struggle for survival. Every day could be a blood-soaked fight, whether it's against the elements, the planet's creatures, or even your fellow humans. Feral worlds are wild, untamed, and primitive. Here, life is brutally simple. You fight, you hunt, and you survive.
Feral worlds, I assume it has to be the ones that we are looking at, like with wolves on top to the armor. Definitely interesting as a combination of designs.
These worlds, untouched by advanced technology, are perfect breeding grounds for warriors who are as fierce as the lands they call home. The locals live in constant fear and awe of the unknown, often worshipping space marines as star gods or sky warriors. Being chosen to join their ranks is the highest honor imaginable. The lucky few who are selected become living legends, if they survive the process, that is. Then we have the hive worlds. Massive polluted cities, stacked one on top of the other, crawling with corruption and violence.
So you have two extremes, like you have like hive worlds and the previous one. So hive worlds is just like these industrial polluted worlds where you have to find other just like you, and whereas in the previous one you have to fight like the environment and everything that comes with the environment, just like, I don't know, creatures and the hostile weather.
Here the streets are ruled by cutthroats, gang leaders, and the desperate. Survival in these towering hives is a brutal game of dominance, and only the most cunning, savage, and resourceful killers will catch the eye of a Space Marine chapter. For these hardened criminals, being recruited into the Adeptus Astartes is an escape from the filth and squalor of their home. Now, while most Space Marine chapters draw their recruits from feral and hive worlds, some also recruit from other types of planets, each one offering its own unique kind of warrior. First up, we have feudal worlds.
Wait, there are feudal worlds in Warhammer 40k? I actually never thought about it. I always thought like Warhammer 40k was a synonym of like advanced technology. Interesting that there's like this sort of opposite.
Planets are stuck in a technologically medieval state, where life is ruled by warrior aristocracies. Most of the population are farming peasants living under the iron grip of noble warlords. Life on these planets is dominated by endless warfare, with feuding kingdoms constantly battling for dominance. This way of life produces fierce, skilled, and noble warriors, who are perfect candidates for recruitment into the Adeptus Astartes. Then we have Death Worlds, planets so
This kind of artwork remind me of like the war in Vietnam combined with the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger called Predator, the first one.
hostile that the Imperium deems them too dangerous for widespread human settlement. These planets are often covered in thick jungles teeming with deadly wildlife, toxic plants, and all manner of lethal threats. Or they could even be barren, rocky wastelands with...
Yikes.
active volcanoes and deadly storms. Survival on these worlds demands far more than brute strength. It requires cunning, caution, and resourcefulness. Those few who manage to endure such harsh conditions make for some of the toughest recruits a Space Marine chapter could hope for. And finally, we have civilized worlds. These planets boast.
To be honest, if I wanted to become a Space Marine, I don't know which world I would choose to start with, because like the advanced ones, I assume like there are no external threats. So you're technology advanced, you are like in a sort of regular society, but again, you are not constantly under the threat of like the I don't know, creatures or hostile environment. Whereas in the previous one that he has presented, you definitely have to overcome those threats, and that builds character. Therefore, you have a better chance to become Space Marine. So I assume that.
Advanced structured societies with their own well-organized militaries. Compared to the brutal landscapes of feral or hive worlds, life on a civilized world is a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, because you are taken care of and you are protected by military.
For that reason, recruits from these planets are more rare. The softer lifestyle means fewer individuals possess the toughness, discipline, or sheer will to undergo the transformation into a Space Marine. However,
And the thing that comes into play is the quote, or like quotes, strong men build good times build create weak men create hard times, and hard times ultimately create strong men. It's a cycle. So yeah, I can see that.
those few who do rise to the challenge often bring a tactical edge, honed by their experience in structured, strategic environments. But no matter where you come from, the selection process is ruthless.
Yeah, because ultimately you have to go through the process, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to a certain extent, because then you again thrown into the pit with the lions or whatever challenge you have to overcome. And if you come from like the advanced society environment where you are protected and taken care of, I see that I can understand it's tough to to have that kind of rude awakening, and you have to fight through, and you didn't build that resilience and character to go head down towards the challenge and face it and overcome it. So yeah, he's right.
To even be considered as an Astartes aspirant, the individual must be an adolescent or very young adult male, one from a world or society deemed clean, because the apothecaries and chaplains of the chapter don't just look for brains, brawn, or even ruthlessness in their recruits.
So this is sort of the forgive my terminology, but this is like the committee, the exam committee that looks at the challengers that want to become Space Marine. So I think it's either, never mind.
They're on the hunt for candidates with something even rarer, genetic purity. This means every potential Space Marine is closely scrutinized to ensure they're free from any genetic flaws or unwanted mutations. The spiritual health of these recruits must also be maintained. The Imperium's war against chaos is fought on more than just the battlefield. It's fought within the minds of every Space Marine.
So it's like, from my understanding, it's like a combination of psychological aspect as well as physical aspect, because you have to endure the genetic process, and when you're done with that, you need to be stable mentally, because otherwise you might become a threat towards them. You might become like you can become a villain, or if the body can sustain the genetic alteration but the brain can't, there's going to be some sort of conflict, and ultimately you become a flaw.
The chaplains ensure there's no trace of corruption from the ruinous powers. Chaos is always lurking, looking for any weakness to exploit, so only those with the purest minds, free from the taint of heresy.
Okay, so temptation seems like in Warhammer 40k universe, temptation and what he called chaos is are threats that are always around the corner, and being mentally pure and being able to reject these kind of influences, it's it seems like a specific feature beside the body strength.
Will be allowed to join the ranks of the Adeptus Astartes to help a chapter identify potential recruits. Individuals on a recruitment world are subjected to a trial, one devised and overseen under the watchful eye of their would-be chapter. Now, the types of trial are numerous and they vary depending on the chapter. Blood duels are one of the most common. Lethal brawls between a group of recruits where only the strongest survive, proving their worth in the most direct way possible. For those from worlds haunted by monstrous beasts,
Yikes, could you imagine being thrown in an environment or a planet where you have to fight against this?
ruthless gangs, or foul xenos, the trials take on a different hue. Aspirants may be sent to hunt these predators, flipping the script and hunting the hunter. On war-torn worlds, whether it's the medieval clash of swords on a feudal planet, or the gritty gang fights of a hive city, the chapter might merely observe, identifying the greatest heroes and most formidable fighters for recruitment. Then there's the exposure trial, a favourite on barren or death worlds. Aspirants are tasked with enduring the raw lethality of the Imperium's harshest environments, whether surviving alone in a predator-infested.
So it's a combination of challenges, like you start from your own planet and then you get thrown into or taken to different worlds where they either have hostile environment or like hostile creatures, just like we're seeing now.
Jungle, or traversing vast icy tundras with minimal supplies. These trials are a testament to an aspirant's will to survive. For chapters that revere spirituality and mental fortitude as much as physical prowess, the knowledge of self-trials await. Here, aspirants face tests of inner strength, enduring harrowing visions and irresistible temptations, all to measure their willpower. Lastly,
so as we said before, is they need to be psychologically strong to overcome temptations and resist them.
There are the challenge trials, among the rarest and most perilous. Here, aspirants must duel a fully fledged Astartes.
Wait. So the last challenge is to fight Space Marine? What? Could you imagine after going through the whole process, you're like, yes, I made it. Yes, I'm becoming a Space Marine finally. And then someone from the committee shows up and they're like, hey, remember the thing that you want to become? You become a Space Marine, right? You are almost done. Yeah. Here's a stick. And you're like, a stick for what? And they're like, yeah, you need to use that stick to fight the thing that you want to become. This is the ultimate challenge. Yeah.
Pitting their might against the towering genetically enhanced super soldier. Most of these duels end in the aspirant's death, but those who perform admirably, even in failure, may earn the chance to continue their journey towards becoming a Space Marine. Now you've proven yourself in your trial, get ready for, well, even more tests. Because becoming a Space Marine means ascending to an 8-foot-tall transhuman behemoth of immense strength and durability. This transformation hinges on gene seed organs.
So when I watched the episode and I saw all those, I don't know how to call them, plugs being installed on their bodies, is what made me start asking what the process looks like in order to become a Space Marine. Because as he mentioned, these men are like 8 feet tall, and I assume they are probably even taller, if not.
Bioengineered implants that reshape recruits into warriors of legend. But before you undergo these life-altering augmentations, your body will be scrutinized to ensure it is up to the challenge. Aspirants will usually need to be aged between 10 and 16, with the rare exception of sometimes up to 20, in order to allow their natural growth hormones to aid in the metamorphosis. Then you'll need to undergo immunogenetic testing to ensure compatibility with the gene seed organs. Your mental state will also be evaluated to gauge your receptiveness to the chapter's psycho-conditioning, vital for guarding against the corrupting influence of chaos. Pass these trials and you'll be promoted to a neophyte.
Okay.
From there, the true transformation begins, psychologically, mentally, and physically, as you journey from mere human to the mighty Astartes. But what exactly are these gene seed organs? What do they do? Well, originally there were 19 of these genetically engineered organs, crafted using the genome of each chapter's original Primarch. Each one with its own benefit and purpose, in their combined mission to turn you into a transhuman war machine.
Okay.
First up, the secondary heart, also known as
Okay, so they have 2 hearts.
the maintainer. By increasing the blood supply and pumping capacity of the cardiovascular system, it ensures that an Astartes never misses a beat. Should the primary heart fail, the secondary heart is capable of taking over completely. It can
So it's like a combination of a spare heart as well as some sort of not turbocharger, but like it pushes even more blood in order to I don't know, become stronger, I assume.
even pump steroids and adrenaline into the primary heart, giving the Space Marine an extra surge of energy when the heat of battle intensifies. Placed in the pituitary gland in the brain's base, the osmomedulla becomes part of the endocrine
Okay, so the thing that is behind the head is called osmomedulla. Okay, let's remember
system, secreting a specially engineered form of human growth hormone. This powerful secretion rapidly strengthens and enlarges the skeleton. With this implant, an Astartes' bones aren't just reinforced, they're
So this thing basically is used to alter the body skeleton. Okay.
re-engineered for battle, causing the neophyte's ribcage to solidify into one solid mass, forming a thick protective shield around the internal organs. Next we have the Bisopia, also known as the Forge of Strength. Implanted into the chest cavity, this small spherical implant has a profound hormonal impact on the body. Like the osmomedulla, it works in synergy to stimulate extraordinary muscle growth throughout the Astartes frame. This implant enhances physical strength to superhuman levels, enabling the Space Marine to carry several times their own weight and deliver bone-crushing strikes. The hemastamen is implanted into a major blood vessel like the aorta, femoral artery, or vena cava. This implant revolutionizes the Astartes' blood, altering its biochemical composition to transport oxygen and nutrients.
Wow, I'm blown away, to be honest. I'm blown away by this whole thing. I mean, I imagined that there was like some sort of biological engineering, but not to this level. Like altering from body structure to hormones, adrenaline, steroids, 2 hearts, and I assume they have like at least 2 lungs, and God knows what other organs, additional organ have.
Unparalleled efficiency. The hemastamen gives the Space Marine's blood a brighter, more vibrant red, reflecting its enhanced oxygen carrying capacity. Moreover, it biochemically regulates the actions of both the osmomedulla and Bisopia, ensuring the harmonious interaction between the bone, muscle, and circulatory enhancements. Laraman's organ, also known as the healer, is a small golf ball-sized implant housed within the chest cavity. This miraculous organ produces synthetic biological cells known as Laraman cells. When an Astartes is wounded, Laraman cells are swiftly dispatched through the circulatory system, rushing to the injury site. Within moments, they form scar tissues.
Oh, okay. They have like some sort of not immune, but like they have like an organ that whenever they get severely injured, it creates like scar tissue. Okay.
Staunching blood loss and guarding against infection. This
blood
rapid
loss,
healing is a
okay.
key reason Space Marines are viewed as nearly invincible, enduring horrific wounds that would fell any lesser being. The catalepsy node, aptly named the Unsleeping, is implanted into the back of the cerebrum. This extraordinary implant grants
Sorry, the picture of Titus smiling caught me off guard. Oh my god.
a Space Marine the ability to forego sleep itself, entering instead into a comatose-like trance that recharges the mind, but remarkably it allows one half of the brain to rest, while the other remains alert, eliminating the need for unconsciousness altogether. And the longest recorded stretch a Space Marine has remained awake on active duty is a staggering 328 hours.
328 hours with half brain working. So they also have like some sort of managing system or within their body. Like if something is not necessarily it's not required necessarily to work at 100%, they can just rely on a small percentage or half percentage to in terms of the usage of the organ. So in this case, the brain. Wow. So half brain, 328 hours. Wow.
The Preomnor, fittingly dubbed the Neutralizer, is essentially a second pre-stomach grafted into the digestive system. Positioned above the original stomach, it empowers a Space Marine to consume otherwise poisonous or indigestible substances.
Wow. So they have like some sort of forgive my language, but they have like some sort of filter that manages like the toxins and whatever. They try to eat something that could be dangerous to the normal human being system, but with this sort of filter they manage to absorb, I assume, the properties of it without the toxins.
When conventional supplies are scarce, the Preomnor biochemically analyzes ingested materials, neutralizing known and unknown toxins. With the Preomnor, and Astartes can turn even the most inhospitable worlds into their own personal buffet. Implanted into the upper spinal cord, the Omniphagia, or the Remembrancer, integrates seamlessly into the central nervous system. This remarkable organ absorbs information along with DNA, RNA, or other protein sequences related to experiences or memory.
So they just basically can eat like a part of a creature, like a local creature of a planet, and they can automatically find out information about like I don't know, their local behavior or the way they communicate or the way they attack. What? Nah, that's crazy.
This grants a Space Marine the extraordinary ability to gain survival or tactical knowledge simply by consuming an indigenous creature or individual of an alien world.
That's exactly what I said. Wow.
Experiencing its memories and instincts. The multi-lung, known as the Imbiber, is a third lung integrated into the Astartes pulmonary.
So we have two hearts, and 3 lungs.
And circulatory systems. This enables a Space Marine to extract oxygen from atmospheres too thin for a normal human to breathe.
So this one has the stomach filter. This third lung is a filter as well, and it filters the oxygen from the toxins that are present in the thin air, or polluted air in this case.
The process is facilitated by a sphincter in the trachea, allowing all 3 lungs to operate at full capacity. In toxic environments, a similar mechanism seals off the standard lungs, channeling oxygen through the multi-lung, which then filters out harmful substances. The oculobe, known as the Eye of Vengeance, is an organ that amplifies an Astartes vision, implanted into the optic nerve and connected to the retina. This enhancement grants each Space Marine unparalleled visual acuity. With the Eye of Vengeance, an Astartes can see with remarkable clarity in low light conditions.
Wow, so they have like even engineered eyes. that allows them to see it when the light is low, or they're like into, I don't want to say necessarily dark, but it's an interesting feature.
turning darkness into an advantage on the battlefield.
Yeah,
Lyman's
true.
ear, known as the Sentinel, completely replaces one of the Space Marine's original ears. This advanced implant prevents dizziness and motion-induced nausea, while also allowing the Astartes to filter out and amplify specific sounds. Additionally, it provides robust protection against sonic-based attacks. The Suzanne membrane, also known as the Hibernator, is implanted into
So it seems like every sort of weak point of the common human being is like not protected, but those weak points are turned into like not necessarily a threat, but they are taken care of, so that not even like just the simple sort of like, I don't know, poison, toxin could take down like an 8-foot tall space marine.
the brain near the pituitary gland, integrating into the endocrine system. This extraordinary organ allows a mortally wounded Astartes to survive grave injuries by slowing their metabolism almost to a standstill, effectively placing them in a state of hibernation. Remarkably, Astartes have been known to remain in this suspended state for up to 567 years, and only with the appropriate chemical therapy and hypnotic autosuggestion from their battle brothers.
So 500 years of hibernation, and then in order to bring you back as a space marine, you have to go through a process of what did he say?
Can a hibernating Astartes be revived from this state 67 years, and only with the appropriate chemical therapy and
Chemical therapy
hypnotic autosuggestion from
and
years, and only with the appropriate chemical therapy and hypnotic
and chemical therapy.
autosuggestion from their battle brothers can a hibernating Astartes be revived from this state. The melanochrome implant attached to the lymphatic system regulates melanin production in the Space Marine's skin. When exposed
skin,
to high
obviously.
levels of sunlight, the Astartes' skin naturally darkens to compensate, providing protection from the increased UV radiation. The oolitic kidney, aptly named the Purifier, is located in the abdominal cavity, becoming a crucial part of the Astartes' excretory system. It works in conjunction with the Preomnor to filter toxins from the blood, removing harmful substances ingested or inhaled. However, should the oolitic kidney be required to begin its detoxification process, it renders the Astartes unconscious, making it a potentially perilous function if activated during combat. The neuroglottis, known as the Devourer, is implanted within the Astartes' upper nasal passages. Once operational, this organ enables a space marine to biochemically analyze substances through chewing, tasting, or smelling.
Okay, so they're like basically walking data center of substances. Like just by tasting it or smelling it, they automatically know what it is.
Assessing them for toxicity and nutritional content.
And they can also like guess if it has like some toxins.
Basically, it's like having a built-in nutrition app that tracks your calories and macronutrients on the go. Only this one also checks to see if your snack is secretly poisoned. The mucrinoid, also known as the Weaver, is implanted within the central nervous system and responds to specific chemical stimuli in the environment. Once activated, it causes the Space Marine to secrete a waxy mucus-like protein through their pores, completely sealing their skin. This adaptation protects the Astartes from extreme temperatures and even the vacuum of space. Becher's gland consists of two separate glands implanted in either the lower lip, salivary glands, or the hard palate of the mouth. Working in tandem, they transform a Space Marine saliva into a corrosive, blinding acid when
What? Corrosive saliva?
they transform a Space Marine saliva
Saliva corrosive, just like acid?
into a corrosive, blinding acid when consciously triggered. An Astartes trapped behind iron bars, for example, could chew their way.
Could you imagine coming out from like a jail or wherever kind of container made out of the rarest and toughest alloy, just like spitting on the surface of it, just like poo, 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 poo. You're constantly spitting until you make like a hole, then you might be able to, I don't know, punch through it or weaken um, the compound of the alloy, and ultimately you just basically got out for free, and you didn't have like to use like a weapon. You just, all you had to do is just like spitting, keep spitting, spit, and then boom, you're out.
Out given a few hours, and these implants also aid in the digestion of unusually tough substances, allowing Space Marines to consume materials that would be near impossible for a normal human to digest. The progenoid glands, also known as the
What is that? What's that thing? It's a squid with 3 eyes?
gene seeds themselves, are
Or is it an organ?
implanted into both the neck and chest cavity. These glands play a critical role in the preservation of the chapter's legacy. Over time, they absorb genetic material from the other organs, storing and maturing it. After several years, usually 10 for the neck gland and 5 for the chest gland, they can be harvested to create new gene seed organs for future aspirants. And finally, we have the black carapace. This neuroreactive fibrous organic material is embedded just beneath the skin of.
By the way, this suit right here, this one, it kind of reminded me of the nano suit from Crisis, now that I'm thinking about it. And to be honest, I didn't think there were like plague being planted right underneath the chest area of the skin. I always thought they had like these plugs around their body that allows to pump like substances or steroid or whatever the case may be. But I didn't think there was like these implants of these plagues on their chest. I always thought there was like muscles, but plagues installed in the chest? No.
The chest, spreading over the rigid.
And also the thing that bothers me is the fact that they just like just lay on the bed regularly, and just like you have this like robot that is making like an open heart surgery, and you're awake. I mean, it's also part of become a Space Marine, but goddamn, just laying down, open eyes, awake, aware of what's going on, and then you have like this robot that is just like cutting through your chest and installing these plates. Yeah, doesn't make any sense, but
Shell-like ribcage. Once implanted, specialized neuroreactive fibers extend inwards, connecting with the Space Marine central nervous system.
okay, so they connect with the neural system and the muscles, tissues.
This integration forms a direct neural link between the Astartes and his power armor, allowing him to control it as if it was a mere extension of his own body.
Oh, so they are connected. Space Marine and the armor are connected. Interesting. You know, I always took for granted that the armor was just like a regular armor. I didn't know that it had like some sort of neural connection. But I always thought it was just like, you know, a regular armor you put on. But I never thought it was like some sort of like second skin that is connected to the neural system of the Space Marine. See, today we have learned a lot.
The black carapace and Astartes can maneuver in his power armor as if he was wearing nothing at all. Now that sounds like a lot.
So I assume you can automatically activate like the jetpack behind your back by using your brain. If I'm correct. If I'm not, just let me know in the comments below.
Right, but wait, there's more. As in recent times, the Adeptus Astartes has seen the introduction of a new breed of transhuman warriors, the Primaris Space Marines. These warriors are bigger, faster, and stronger than their firstborn predecessors. They carry all the same gene seed organs as a regular Space Marine, but with a few extra enhancements thrown in for good measure.
So it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because I assume that in the Warhammer 40k universe there is some sort of technological advancement, and like some features that the previous maybe generation of like Space Marine. Maybe they didn't have like some features or organs. So I assume then the old generation of Space Marine then can undergo a process of it's called a renovation or a surgery where they get implanted the latest organs or features that comes with becoming a Space Marine.
These additional organs give the Imperium's Angels of Death an even sharper edge. In a galaxy that's only growing more dangerous by the day, these new warriors ensure the Emperor's will is carried out with unparalleled ferocity. What's more is that firstborn Space Marines who didn't grow up with these new Primaris organs can actually receive these enhancements too. This upgrade option allows seasoned Astartes veterans to keep pace with the latest advancements in Space Marine biology. But what are these extra organs? One of the most significant is the sinew coils, also known as the steel within. These durametallic coil cables are interwoven with a Space Marine sinews, the fibrous material connecting muscle to bone. These coils can contract with tremendous force, amplifying an Astartes' strength and adding an extra layer of resilience to their bodies.
So you have like metal within the muscle tissues.
With this enhancement, a Primaris can crush a...
Damn, could you imagine punching through someone's head and then half of the body explodes, just like in this picture?
A man's skull with his bare hands, shatter
Yikes.
flak armor into pieces, and even bite through metal cables. The Magnificat, also known as the Amplifier, is a small thumbnail-sized lobe inserted into the brain's cortex. This powerful implant secretes hormones that enhance the body's growth functions, while also intensifying the effects of the other gene seed organs, particularly the Bicepia and the Osmodula. These enhancements make the Primaris Space Marines not only physically larger and stronger, but also increase their reaction speeds and overall durability. With the Magnificat in place, a Space Marine can grow significantly taller, expanding from the typical max height of 7.5 feet tall to an imposing 8 to 10 feet tall.
Damn, 10 feet tall Space Marine. You're literally like a walking tank, towering over your enemies and God knows what anything else you're towering over. Like 10 feet. Could you imagine being 10 feet and having the armor of a Space Marine? I mean, you are basically almost indestructible. Like you can just literally like take head on any kind of enemy possible. But again, there's also like the physical, the psychological aspect. Like if you are weak there, then you are automatically dead. Just like as we saw in the episode of Secret Levels.
This increase in size is matched by a proportional boost in skeletal and muscular mass, creating a warrior who is not only more formidable, but also capable of achieving feats of strength that go far beyond what firstborn Space Marines could even dream of. Primaris Space Marines are also equipped with the Belisarian Furnace, also known as the Revitalizer. This organ links to both the Astartes' hearts and serves as a powerful backup mechanism. In times of extreme stress or when the Marine suffers severe injuries, the Belisarian Furnace kicks in, releasing a potent self-synthesized chemical cocktail, one that...
So it's like some sort of, I don't know how to call it. Let's say the Space Marine, his two hearts like stop. This organ basically is just like some sort of small motor that is going to try to turn it on by pumping, I assume, some chemicals or like some sort of like a version of adrenaline in order to turn either both hearts or only one.
It mimics the effects of combat stimulants, triggering rapid regrowth of tissue, bone, and muscle. granting the Space Marine a supercharged temporary healing factor. Now, as your advanced body grows and you receive each new implant, it'll take time to learn how to wield your transformed form and its frightening new abilities. You'll go from a clumsy patient, stumbling and struggling to adapt, to a ruthless weapon of war. But alongside these physical changes, you'll start to notice shifts in your mind. As you adapt to your new form, you begin to unlock cognitive powers lying dormant in all human minds. These powers enable you to control your senses and nervous system to an extraordinary degree, allowing you to withstand pain that would be fatal to an ordinary human.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier and before, like I think they both go hand to hand, like both psychological aspect and physical. So even if you were like if you like get to be chosen to become a space marine based on your like body and physical aspect, then if you are mentally weak, it doesn't add up. So ultimately it's just like it has to be 50-50, because in the mind you also fighting outside with your body and taking down the enemy, but at the same time you're fighting inside the skull, because as he mentioned, there are like external threats like chaos that are trying to infiltrate your brain and make you fall for the temptation to become, I don't know, probably rebellious and being controlled by external psychological influences.
Your mental acuity sharpens, you can think and react at lightning speeds, recall information with a photographic memory, and your mental capabilities now surpass those of most ordinary humans. In this way, you don't just become a space marine in body, but also in mind, evolving
exactly what I was saying
into a being whose purpose and power are beyond what you once thought possible. So if you've made it through this extensive implantation process and rehabilitation, then congratulations, you haven't just survived. You've endured trials that would kill or cripple most aspirants, as most neophytes either perish during the process, suffer severe injuries that may lead to a merciful execution, or are reduced to mindless servitors, serving the chapter as a shell of their former self. But for those who make it, physical metamorphosis is now complete. Your body is now that of a space marine, and now that you've undergone psychological conditioning, indoctrination into the chapter's rites, and learned the traditions that will guide you, you're finally ready for your first combat duties. This means being assigned to the Scout Marines. Here you'll start your career by learning the art of war from the shadows. Whether it's gathering intelligence, sabotaging enemy positions, or eliminating key targets.
So you have to go through the ranks to become ultimately a firm space marine.
As a scout, you'll endure months of grueling training, continue becoming accustomed to your new body, and understand your new war gear, continuing your apprenticeship in the brutal lessons of war and discovering what it truly means to be one of the Emperor's Angels of Death. Once you have proven yourself worthy of your chapter by excelling as a scout, you will have gained the right to join the main ranks of the Astartes, and this will be where your path diverges from your fellow Astartes, as you are assigned to a new company and placed into one of the many battle line close support or fire support squads, each specializing in a unique and deadly form of combat, like the Intercessor squads who form the beating heart of a Primaris Space Marines forces, assault squads who get in close to an enemy position and pound them into dust with melee weaponry, or desolation squads ready to rain missiles down on enemies from afar.
Okay, that's interesting. Each squad has its own tasks and duties, and it comes with a different kind of fighting. Some find with melee fighting, and other will use like heavy weaponry.
So welcome to your new life, a never-ending war against the enemies of the Emperor. As a Space Marine, you've got one job and one job only: to purge heretics, xenos, and anything that threatens the Imperium. Whether you're leading a planetary assault, battling orcs in some forgotten war zone, or facing down the forces of chaos, you'll be right on the front lines. Your purpose is singular, unwavering. You are the Emperor's wrath incarnate, and from now on, You live to fight, conquer, and defend humanity against all
Wow, just look at the difference between a regular human being and a space marine.
who would see it fall. Welcome to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, brother. What do you think? Could you handle the life of a space marine?
No. No, because ultimately there are a lot of factors, one of which is the place where you are born. And with that comes like it comes a lot of challenges, and then you have to go through those challenges, whether it's a hostile environment and the creatures of that planet, and probably, as you mentioned, there are like gangs and tribes that are fighting and taking down each other. And then not only that, then you have to undergo the process again of being selected, and then you need to have those physical and mental features that ultimately allow you to become a space marine. And it's too much, because then you also have to undergo surgeries, and both your body and brain need to be on the same page, because if one is handicapping the other, then ultimately you fail, and you can even, I assume you can even die while undergoing surgery or after the surgery.
The endless war, the sacrifice, the honor. Which of these gene seed organs would you most like to have? Let us know down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe.
I would like to have all of them, because all of them are interesting and useful based on the situation that you're in.
Join us again soon. Until then, catch you next time.
The Lotos spaceport is your destination.
Okay, so that was it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Warhammer 40k, more content on the way. No rhyme intended. But yeah, if there is even more media content that you guys want me to react to and address and learn from, another video that I might do a reaction to is probably the lore, because I want to learn more. And as time goes by and I make new videos, I will definitely keep you updated with my reading of the Warhammer 40k books. But another premise is that I think I'm going to make playthrough series of Space Marine video games. I have Space Marine 1 and Space Marine 2 in my Steam library. Looking forward to playing both of them and make a playthrough series for both games and bring them to the channel. So let me know what you guys think. But anyway, that is for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a thumbs up. If not, thank you for watching. I'm Wasabi, and I'll see you next time. Take care.